And now we are checking something that is very important in our course, and not only in our course, the difference between service and client service. In the case of services, services is an economic sector. And in the case of an economic sector, we are meaning, for example, education, medicine, legal advisory, and accounting advisory, and so on. You will find many kinds of services. And in the case of client services, is something that every or nearly every economic sector has that backs the service or the product. For example, if you bought a computer, someone will help you showing how you must use it. And if you have some kind of problems, they will help you in this sense. On the other side, if we are speaking about softwares, someone will help you in how to use it, or if you buy a car and you have problems, someone could advise you. Then you will find that the client service is a kind of service related with every economic sector. So, as you can read, service is included in many industrial sectors, and client service is included in all industrial sectors. As I mean industrial sector, I mean every economic sector, not only industrial and not minery and so on, okay? And client service supports the company's basic product. You will see now and more in the future that client service is a kind of variable that will be increase their participation in the market when we have more technology. All products or services that are dependent of more advanced technology needs more client service. And as we are seeing, as technology is evolving, as technology is more complex, we need more client service. This is the first thing that we must take into account in this case. On the other side, we could find that a service is something that is intangible. And if we are speaking about a product, it is tangible. It's an important difference. And this difference could produce many other differences that is necessary to take into account. First one, a service is not inventory. You can maintain it in a warehouse. If you lost this class, you can't repeat it. If I will teach it again, it's not always the same. I will apply different words. Your behavior, your attitude, or perhaps some other things that have influence over you or over me are different. Our interaction could be different. And so these things show us that it is not inventory. It's not like, for example, chairs, desks, pencils, papers. If you don't buy right now and you buy it in the future, you will find that it's nearly the same that you will happen, that you will bought yesterday or day after yesterday and so on. Then it's important to take this in account. It's not inventory. It's unpatentable. Services are not patentable by a very simple reason. All what this service is related with a human can do. You can write, you can think, you can create, you can develop processes, you can write books, and so on. You can do many things, and services is related with this. Then, as it's inherent, it is inherent to the human being, it's not patentable, because if someone can't patent it, it means that the others can't do it. But if you patent a product, it's different. because the product don't exist now. You will create it. And this thing that you will create is something that the word protect, because you have consumed time, creation, knowledge, and many other things to create something that don't exist before now. Okay? Then services are not patentable. On the other hand, services are not easy to explain. And this is because we have not in our mind the final product. When we want to look for a product, it's easy to understand how is this product. We understand the material, the design, how can we use it. We don't need to add anything to it, because when we see it, we know what can this thing do. But in the case of services, not. And on the other way, it's not, as we are seeing, it's not easy to explain, because in one way, I could value some variables of these services. Is someone who is very exactly, he's very punctual, is someone who has a good knowledge, he or she doesn't speak a lot, he is very incisive in what he or she said. But you will find that you value this, and you can say this is a good advisor, this is someone whose services I could hire. But on the other side, people want to feel human warm, calor humano, and perhaps these people don't have it, don't have these characteristics. And if he or she doesn't have it, then you will estimate that this service is not good. Then it's something subjective. Not everyone will value it in the same way. Perhaps someone will consider some variables to measure or to qualify this product, and some other will use some other measures or variables. But this is not easy to explain. On the other side, you will find some other kind of variables that could affect this. And by this, I take an extreme example. In the case of a prostate examine the prostate. Okay? It's an exam that men need to do after 40 years, because the prostate could have some kind of problems, and you can have cancer perhaps if you don't analyze this. But in many cases, people don't like to do this exam because for men it's not so easy to accept it. Okay? Then, if you understand this exam, everyone knows how is a prostate exam? Do you know? Okay, in the case of women, perhaps that you don't know. The thing is this. You must take a finger in the end to look for the end, for the prostate. By this, men don't like to do this exam. By this, the quantity of men that die because they have problems with prostate is very, very high, because they don't like this. Okay? Then, we know that now why men don't like this exam. Okay? Second, if they do this exam, if they go to the doctor and go to this exam, after they have did it, they go home and they find a friend, and this friend asks him, "Have you done this exam?" "Yes, I have." "Can you tell me if you like it? How can you explain me that this exam is good? Which variables would you use to recommend me this exam?" Then it's not easy to explain. It's not easy to explain. By this, many men, not all, many men don't like this exam. Perhaps you will find some men that like it and go every day. But in this case, it's not easy to explain. Not easy to explain. Every service is not easy to explain. When you go to an advisor, this advisor could tell you about the service that he is offering. I will advise you how to begin operation, a marketing department. Okay. And what will you do? Okay, I will take the services, think of the services, I will think about the people that you need, the processes and so on, and he will define many things. Okay, it's logic. I accept your proposal. And you accept it. But when you advance in the project, you will see that are things that you don't have taken account at the beginning, because it's not as easy as a car. And this is the same. When you are looking for services, it's not easy to take all things in account. And when you take it in account, you don't know if the other person will take it the same quantity, the same variables, and if they will weight all these variables in the same way that you. By this, it's not easy to explain. It's not easy to present. How can you present this? You can present a dress, a paper, you can present a card, you can present a bicycle, you can present these things because everyone will see it. But you are not here in class, you are at home, you are at the field, at the beach, and someone asks you, and how is your course of economy? How would you present it? You will speak about the professor, about the schedule, you will speak about the deep that the professor explained the course. What variables would you use to express this? Or if you go to a lawyer, how will you explain or present to others that this is a good lawyer? Then it's not easy to present. It's not easy to assess by the reasons that I have explained you. Everyone has different variables in mind when they want to assess something. Okay? These are the first differences. And in the case of financial services and operations, or in the case of insurance companies, the thing is that if they want to sell this product to their customers or to new customers, when they want to enter to new markets, how can they explain their service? How can they protect the work that they have to do? By this you see that when a financial institution begins a new service, short line, another one is copying the service too. And this is something that you must take into account in this case. Then we could find another difference, standard and heterogeneous. When we are speaking about a product, it is standard. Nearly all these chairs are standard, are the same. If they have some differences because the supplier could be different, or it could be because the university has bought it one date and another part of these chairs has been bought another day, another date. So in general, this is a product is a standard product, but services are heterogeneous. Why are heterogeneous? Because, as I have told you, if I dictate this class and I will dictate it again, I won't dictate it to be equal. I will use different words, I will use different examples, I could be more tired or I could be more energized, and then I will change the methodology, the process that I teach in this course. Then it's heterogeneous. If you go to a bank, in the case of a bank, you will find that the teller, el cajero de ventanilla, the teller could explain you, could attend you in a good way. If he or she is not tired, if he or she has a good contador, okay? If they have these things, then he or she could give a good service. Then, if we take in account that service is heterogeneous, you will find that customer satisfaction depends on employee. Because the employee offers you the service, because the employee is the person who is giving you the service. He will attend you, he will take your information, he will give you information, he will receive or he will return you your money. Then how he or she attends you is essential in this case. And this will change from one teller to another, from one office to another, from one time to another, because at the same time people could be more tired or less tired. Then satisfaction will depend on employee. But at the same time you will find that quality depends on many uncontrollable factors. What happens, for example, if you go to a banking agency and they don't have electricity? They can attend you. They have difficulties to attend you. Your operation wouldn't be so quickly. And if you are, for example, in a hurry, you can't wait and you will claim about this service. Or perhaps you don't have a hurry and you have enough time, you can wait, and it's good for you. And on the other case, perhaps the teller could have a problem with his friendship, and with a friend or with his or her pareja. Bueno, partnership sería socio. Bueno, con una pareja, enamorado o enamorada, sweetheart, when his or her sweetheart, okay? And this could affect the way by which this person will offer his or her service to people. Or it could be many other things depending on the office, depending on the employee, depending on the client. There is no certainty that the service is comparable to what was originally planned and promoted. You will find that you have defined the service, you have established the process, you have defined what must you do first, then second, then third, and so on. Perhaps what you have defined, designed, it's very clear and it's the best what you can do, what you can offer to your customers. But at the time, at the moment by which you are giving this service or processing this service to your clients, things couldn't be enough as you have planned. Perhaps you don't have paper, you don't have ink, you don't have enough money to pay, and it was not. It is something that you don't have planned, or you have planned to have 4 cashiers today, 4 tellers, and only 2 are present, and the other 2 are not. It's not comparable, it's not what you have originally planned. Or you have think that you will have only 30 clients per hour, and today, at this moment, you have 30 clients per minute. Many variables that you can't control. By this, services are heterogeneous. By this, you have heard a lot of claims against banks because they have many problems to offer this service to their markets. Marketing, production and consumption. We have seen that when you are a client and you are at the agency, the teller will attend you. And when he or she is attending you, at this moment, he or she is producing the service. And at the same time, you are consuming the service. Production and consumption and are at the same time in the case of services. But if you are thinking about products, it's different. You don't have seen when and how have they built this chair, or how they have built this camcorder, or this paper, or this microphone. You don't see it. If they have problems when they produce something, you don't see it. But if you are asking for a service in an insurance company or in a financial institution, you are seeing how they attend you. When you buy something, you are speaking only with the seller, but you are not speaking with the worker, with the factory worker. And in the case of financial services or insurance services, you are working, you are speaking, you are having a relation exactly with the person who is producing. If you attack him or her, his or her production will change, will not be what the financial institution or the insurance company has planned. Then the client participates in the transaction and affected it. This is the first conclusion, the first thing that you must take in account. And the clients affects other clients, because if they're clean and many clients are waiting for services, they will clean too. You will find something that like solidarity. It's something like a contagion. People that are not so sad, not so if they are not fastidiados, okay. Perhaps if someone begin to clean, they will begin to clean too. So other clients affect other clients, or it could be more positive. If the client is happy, they will affect others, and if they say, thank you very much, how well have you attended me? The second client will think, oh, it's a good service, and they will look for this service with positive eyes. The employees affect the services result. We have talked about this in the previous slide. If he or she has a good behavior, if his humor is good, then he will offer or she will offer a good service. And in this case, this centralization could be fundamental. Decentralization. Why? By which reasons are you seeing so many financial institutions, agencies in all the city, in many cities? Why don't you see so many offices, so many stores, bookstores, car stores? But you are seeing a lot of financial institutions, agencies. It's because decentralization. It's necessary for them. If they are not where you need, like other economic sectors, that in this case more, if you are not where they need, then they will go to your competitor. As production and consumption are at the same time, they need to have more points, more sell points. That if you produce the product in your factory, you only need one factory, or two or three, or one in a region, or one in a country. And then you will sell these products to your distributors, and these distributors will sell your product in their offices, in their stores. But they are not your stores. It's the distributor stores. Okay? In this case, you don't have distributors. You must manage all the process, all the product, all the operation. And by this, you need decentralization. On the other hand, you are seeing that some kind of drugstores or offices like supermarkets are offering banking services. This is another kind of decentralization. that it is related with more alternative to offer bank services, but related with funds, because these institutions move a lot of cash. And then if you move a lot of cash, you can move more. Or think it this way: if you receive a lot of money and after the day you must pay to someone to carry this money to a bank, like for example Prosegur or Hermes, and you must pay them a lot of money to transport this money. For you, it's better if a bank client comes to you and said, I want to withdraw 5,000 soles. Okay, here's your money. Then I don't need to carry money at the end of the day. If thieves come to my store or to my drugstore, I don't have so much money because I have paid it to my clients. Then it's a way to reduce the risk of these entities. And it's a way to have another agency at lower cost, and so I have more sale points. Then you will find that decentralization is fundamental for them, and it's something that offers different alternatives. But not all kind of businesses could be partners of financial institutions or insurance companies. You will find, for example, in the case of insurance companies, that they have insurance brokers. And these insurance brokers are entities or persons who represent the insurance company, sell their insurances, and they move the money. In this case, they have decentralized the service too, but in other way. The insurance companies don't have many offices, they only have one. And the brokers have their offices, one or two offices, and they are spread in all the cities and in very many localizations in a city. Finally, products are not immediately perishable, are not immediately perishable, but services are immediately perishable. I have dictated something before now. After I have ended, it's lost. If someone comes right now, he or she will hear what I have dictated before now. Then it's immediately perishable. As this class ended, you can receive it again. You can see our record class if you go to YouTube, but you can't receive direct live this class. Okay? In the case of products, you will find some kind of products like fruits that are not immediately perishable, but they are very perishable in a short time, 7 days, 5 days after you have bought it. The exception if you have bought it when they are green, but in the most part of the cases they are not immediately perishable, but services are. And what is the difficult about, what are the difficulties that this condition produce? The first one, as these products are perishable, then you can't have mass production. In products you can have mass production. In services you can't. Why? Because a mass production in the case of insurance companies or financial institutions means that I must have a lot of agencies, and I must have a lot of tellers in every one of these agencies. And if I attend in my headquarters, I need to have many official credits to attend people. And I need many if I want to have mass production. But we know that in the case of services, people don't go at every time of the day in the same amount. You will find 3 clients at 9 o'clock in the morning, 15 at 9:30, 1 at 10 o'clock, 30 at 11, 50 at 12, and at 12 and a half you will find 100 in one agency. Okay? It means that people go at different times and they have concentration in some hours. If you have a lot of people at the beginning of the day, if you have a lot of employees at the beginning of the day, the consequence is that you are paying a salary and these people are not working. Then you can have mass production. But if you are producing cars, camcorders, chairs, desks, what's more, papers, pencils, pens, you can produce a lot. You can have mass production, and after your production, you can you can maintain these products in warehouse, and after this, you can deliver these products to your partners, to people who will sell it, retailers, and by this you can have mass production because you could maintain the product in warehouses and they can maintain it in warehouses too. But financial institutions can. Perhaps the way by which you could save, but not in all, this problem is the case of WOM. In the case of WOM, for example, they have the same problems as financial institutions. People go to buy things at different hours, and they have an estimation of how much clients will they have at different hours during the day. And what have they do? They have established how many cashiers must they have. But at the end, it could be that they have difference between what they have planned and how many clients do they have at a determined hour, a determined time. Then they have the telephone of their other cashiers, and they have an agreement that if one call them to go to work, they will go immediately, and one will pay the taxi because they need these employees immediately to attend customers. Customers are very valuable, and as they are valuable, I need that they will be happy with my service, and if they are happy with my service, they will buy again and again. And what is the value of this client? If I have a statistics of all his or her box, then the present value of this client is the value of the client. And I could know this information because in the most part of the cases, these clients buy with credit cards. Then I have the information about how many times this client bought and how much bought for at every time. In the case of financial institutions, I have the same information. I know which clients come with which frequency and how much do they deposit or they withdraw at every time. And I know how much they maintain as in their accounts as balance, and then I know which is the value of my client. And when I know this, I know that I have more valuable clients than others, and I will collect lower commissions or lower interest rates to those clients who are more valuable, and I will give to them preferential attention. By this you will see that exists the private banking. This is the service that I offer to those clients who has a lot of money and produce to me big profits and so on. Then financial institutions will categorize their clients, and insurance companies will do the same in order to give a preferential attention to these clients. Difficulties in synchronized supply and demand services, as I have told you. I am prepared to receive 30 clients in the next 20 minutes, and I'll receive 90, or I'll receive only one. I have statistics, I have probabilities about how many clients I will receive at different periods of time during the day. That I will have differences because statistics is not exact, it's only a probability. And then I will find that in that in some days, in some periods of time, I will have differences that are not easy to synchronize. And services cannot be returned or resolved. For example, if you are here in this course and you have paid for it and you don't like the course, you don't like the methodology, you don't like the professor, the university wouldn't return your funds. But about lucky, I can't do anything about this. You must resist the course and you must try to approve it. It's the only way. And it's the same in all the courses, it's the same in all the services. After you have paid it, you can't return, they won't return you anything. The only way in which they will return or they will compensate you is if you can demonstrate that they don't have accomplished what they have promised. Only this thing, in this case, that it's difficult to recover your funds, I can assure it. But in the case of financial institutions, perhaps they won't result or return these funds to you, but if they have charged more than they have right, then you can recover this amount. It's the only thing that you can recover. And all the things will show us something very important, that these services, financial services and insurance services, are depending on technology. Then in this triangle, you can see technology at the center. And technology is something that will help company, clients, and suppliers to improve the service or to maintain the quality of the service. And how is built this triangle? First, you can see the company in the upper side and the clients in the right side. And the company has a relation with these clients. And in this relation, the company makes promises. I promise that you will be happy with my service. I promise that you will gain a lot of money in interest. I promise that your funds will be received by your beneficiary in other city, in other country on time. So I make promises. I make promises by marketing. And this is called external marketing. Because the company, the financial institution or the insurance company offered outside this company promises to the market. But this is external marketing. It's the promises that the company offered to his or her clients. At the same time, this company must accomplish these promises. How? With suppliers, and then you will find suppliers on the left side of the triangle. And in this case, these suppliers will produce or will sell, for example, ATM, cajeros automáticos, will sell or supply hardware, software, or if we are speaking about outsourcing, they could be, you can see employees in the agency, but they are not employees of the bank or they are not employees of the financial institution. They are employees from another company that has outsourced these services, these employees to the financial institution. So these suppliers will enable these promises, will help that all what you have promised to the market will be accomplished. And this is called internal marketing. Your employees are suppliers too. They offer their work, and with their work you will accomplish with your operations. You will do your processes, and by this you will do your operations. And this is called internal marketing. It means that financial institutions need to do an internal marketing to motivate people or to motivate suppliers to do well their work, and in the case of suppliers, to innovate their products, to innovate their processes, to innovate all what I need for them to offer a better service to my clients. And these clients will have a relation with these suppliers, because when they are being attended by by employees, outsourcing employees or internal employees, or they will use the ATM, or when they are with the teller and the teller use the software or the hardware, then they have a relation with this supplier, direct client or indirect client, but they have a relation. Because I could be the financial institution. I am using a PC from a company that has produced it. It's mine, it's not for them, but this supplier has produced it. And as they have to produce it, all the characteristics, all the benefits that this machine could produce is something that is related with my client. So in this case, indirect client, this client is related with the supplier. I need that this supplier prepares a good product or a good service by which my client will feel satisfaction. Okay? Then, in this case, we have a relation between clients and suppliers, a direct relation. And this is a way by which I fulfill promises, cumplo las promesas. Enable promises, hacer posible cumplir las promesas. Make promises, hago promesas. En este caso, I fulfill promises. Aquí las cumplo. Because in this case, clients are using the service, and I am producing the service at the same time. And this is an interactive marketing. As I give a good service, a good process, a good operation to my clients, at the same time as my clients is consuming it, I have an interactive marketing. With facts, I am demonstrating to my clients that I am accomplished my promises. This is the thing. This is the reason by which financial institutions have many difficulties to satisfy clients, because, as I have told you, they offer services that are not tangible, are intangible, are heterogeneous, and many other variables that we have seen. Okay? And all the things, make promises, enable promises, fulfill promises, are centered in this technology that helps to accomplish with all what we have offered to the market. On the other way, this technology has produced a relation between suppliers, clients, and companies. In two ways: supplier clients, supplier company, or company clients, or in three ways: company, suppliers, and clients have a relation at the same time. Technology is the center in this sector, in financial institutions and in insurance companies, more than in other cases, because we have seen that at the same time, at the same moment, clients and production have a relation, an interactive relation, and at the same time you are seeing consumer.